We're here with the filmmaker and the cast from Before I Disappear. We got Sean Christensen, who I believe made this based off of your award-winning short. And then from left, or I guess from right to left, Ron Perlman. You're going to have to help me with your last name. It's Fatima Patacic?
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Really
Emmy
good.
Rossum and Paul Wesley.
Yep.
So Sean, the movie is based off your short, which is called Curfew, I believe. When you were making Curfew, was the plan to eventually make a feature-length movie off of it, or did the success of Curfew...
When I made the short film, the plan was to survive this thing, because we were just shooting, I was just my own money, and we were just trying to make sure the film was decent and good, and that was all the plan was just to try to make the best short film possible. Then later on, when we started getting good, positive feedback from it, then it was like, I'd like to expand this into a feature.
Right. Did you have
And by positive feedback, he means he won the Oscar for Best Short Film.
No, but we had good feedback before that, and it was like a really nice journey before the nomination. It was a lot of festivals. We would go all over the world, and it was awesome. It was a really fun experience. Yeah.
How did you know that you'd be able to expand it into a feature?
Wow. Okay, so we want to
Go for it.
we wanted to explore the different relationships more in depth. I think we. That's what I heard him say in an interview earlier.
Where'd you get that from?
I'm amazing. That's all.
Make it amazing, make it bigger, make it badder. You want to say something like that?
No, I'm not
Faster,
that cheesy.
Faster, funnier, cheesier?
Okay, they're just making fools out of me. I'm just gonna shut up now.
No, you don't have to. It was definitely a thing where I was saying to Fatima, I was like, I'm gonna make a feature of this, and I'm gonna go cast somebody else, and you were like, no, you're gonna play the role. Remember?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay,
pretty
I guess
much.
I'll play the role.
Yeah.
So that was how that happened, at least. Yeah.
What spoke to you about his short, and talk a bit about your role in the movie?
The short just had me from the first frame all the way to the last. It was as perfect a film as I'd ever seen, and I've seen a few dozen films. So I just said, it went from being, will you do this, to what do I got to do to work with this guy? So, luckily he had a role in the expansion of the thing that he was thinking of me for, and, I didn't even need to read it. I just said, okay, just tell me when I need to be there, and I'll work out the details. And that's the way it was. I just needed to be around the guy who made that film, because I needed to see what his process was. I needed to see how he was able to not only write it and direct it and produce it, but play a character that was as damaged and fragile and vulnerable as that, even though you need to be ruthless in order to produce a movie. So I needed to find out who that guy was that could walk that line.
Can you believe it's him? I'm sorry. Can we just take a second? Does he look like that kind of guy?
No, I'm not. I was trying to figure that out too. All those questions, actually, while we were doing it. But yeah, that's actually, I don't take compliments well, so that was really nice. But it was a joy to have Ron on the set.
But it's all true, and plus I'm a junkie for being around filmmakers who are at the beginning, before the industry has a chance to turn them into monsters and cynics.
Too late.
Yeah.
What is the premise? Because nobody watching has actually seen it.
Well, the premise: a guy is at the end of his rope, and he's looking to off himself, so to speak, and he gets a call from his estranged sister, played by Emmy, to take care of his 11-year-old niece for the night. So he cancels his plans to end his life to babysit this precocious young niece of his, and it's about their sort of growing together over the period of the night, and it's also kind of a story about family, kind of getting back together and sorting some issues out, but it's a dark comedy, so if it sounds a little depressing in the way I pitch it, it has levity in it, which is very important to me. It's a really dark sense of humor.
So I'll give you one of the ego-stroking questions now.
Oh, goodness.
It ends with...
What products do you use in your hair?
That's not ego stroking.
It actually ends with "Tell him I love him."
Okay, I'll take that. Is it my mother?
It is Stefan's backbone.
It's Stefan, first of all.
Stefan.
Yeah, it's a
Why
guy
are you
named
making
Stefan.
me French? Yeah. Okay, anyway, so Stefan's backbone.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Can you ask Paul what his favorite scene in Before I Disappear is?
My favorite moment. I have my favorite moment, and they wouldn't know what the moment is because they haven't seen the movie. But I think when Richie, it's in the short, so for anyone who's seen the short, when Richie takes the phone call from Emmy, and she's asking him, she goes on this huge sort of monologue, this tangent about, I know you're not doing anything important, da 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 da, and then when he says, will you come pick up my daughter? And he says, okay. That okay is my favorite moment in the film. Music's a big part of this movie, I think.
It is.
So it's good that we're at this festival because music lovers come to see the film.
How so?
Well, Sean's a musician.
Yeah, there's tons of music in this film.
Yeah.
Lots of yeah. And there's
We got-
there's a few big bands that did it for
We have some
peanuts. So.
amazing
Yeah.
bands that we were fortunate enough to get.
Like whom?
Like David Bowie.
Yeah, David Bowie and Billie Holiday and the Animals, and there's a lot of great smaller bands. There's a band coming up called Tame Impala.
Yeah,
It's
I love
incredible.
them.
They're awesome.
And they're in there too. So it's a fun soundtrack.
And are they recording original for the movie, or is it?
No, this are just songs I loved, and I just asked them kind of, just would you like to be in my movie, and wrote them emails, and they said yeah.
What is your background? I mean, how did you get into film? When did you know you wanted to be a filmmaker?
Oh, I was.
He used to be a rock star.
Yeah, I used to be. I was in a band. I was in a band that didn't blow up. Actually, our band was. I remember our band was. We had the Killers were opening for us before anyone knew who they were, and as we were on tour with them, I could see this band was going to be huge, and I could see that we weren't. And I started writing scripts because I was a film buff, And I remember when I caught Chinatown on television one night when I was in high school, whatever. I just watched it like 10 times over again. I said I want to get into screenwriting, and so I just kind of segued into it a little bit like that, pretty much. I just kind of was, I was on tour and I was with this band and I was writing screenplays, and that's how I. got
Your
into
first
it, yeah.
thing that you wrote, you sent to me. Remember, it was a scene.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Of
was
Sydney
like,
Hall? Or
yeah.
no? Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
I was like, God, this is good.
Yeah. It was just, yeah.
So what is there's clearly a kinship between the two of you. Where does that stem from?
We just met in an acting class in New York City when like years ago.
Yep.
But,
Yeah.
God,
And we've
And
been friends ever since.
going back even further than that,
Going back further than that.
to New York, to Flow.
Yeah, that's
that
what
was
I'm talking
it.
about.
That
That's
was
the class
it.
we were in.
Oh, and you
That's
were
right. You were in the
Their
class.
acting
No, you
teacher.
were in a private
I
session.
was a private
Privately
student
coached by the
from
same
that
acting teacher.
so
acting
That's
teacher,
right.
but
That's
we
the acting
didn't know
teacher.
each other. We only figured that out
We took
Yeah.
the group
recently.
classes, Sean and I.
Yeah.
Emmy was in the private. I didn't.
That's
I
right.
Totally
Yeah.
forgot about that. That's
Yeah,
funny.
so we met each other back
But this
then,
is
yeah.
like 20 years ago.
Literally.
What else should they know before I let you guys go?
It's not a high concept film. There's no plot to it. I mean, I guess you can find a plot, but it's just basically this interaction, which reveals so much about
Yeah, it's a character.
survival and loyalty and things like that. Big ideas. But it's like trying to describe chocolate mousse to someone. You got to pick up the spoon and just eat it, man. Wow. And then you'll know. So go see the movie.